Hey, of the audience, Orion English Star is back again with a very interesting video for you all. In my today's video, I'll be discussing about a poem from 10th class English book. The name of the book is First Flight, and the poem about which I'll be talking in detail in this video is Dust of Snow. This poem has been beautifully penned down by Robert Frost. Now, before I should talk about the paraphrasing of the poem, let me first give you a brief outline about the poet. Robert Lee Frost was born on 26 March 1874 and he was an American poet. He was very popular in his style of writing poems. Actually, he used to take social and philosophical themes from the rural life of people of England, and for his poetry he was honored frequently during his lifetime, and he was the only poet to receive 4 Pulitzer prizes for poetry. He became one of America's rare public literary figures, almost an artistic institution in himself. He was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetic works. On July 22, 1961, Frost was named Poet Laureate of Vermont. And eventually on 29 January 1963, he passed away. Now, in this poem, what he is trying to tell the audience is this poem, The Dust of Snow, is a very motivating poem, and it's actually motivating, short and simple poem, but it has a deeper and larger meaning. It tells us about the curative power of nature, how nature can heal we human beings. The message of the poem is put into words by Robert Frost in a very unique way. He says, always a larger significance, a little thing touches a larger thing. What he meant over here is that even a simple moment has a large significance. He tells that sometimes even a small incident may prove to be of a great importance in our life and can bring a much required change or break in our life. Now, if we look at the rhyming scheme of the poem, it is A B A B C D C D. Now, let's begin with the poem. The first paragraph states, "The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree." Now, over here, the poet says that once, when he was in a very sad, depressive mood, he was sitting under a hemlock tree and he was repenting for some unknown reasons, which we audience we don't know, but definitely what we know is that he wasn't happy that day. He wasn't happy with the occurrence of the events in his life for that day, and he was very sad. And in this condition, he went and sat under the hemlock tree. Now, hemlock tree, it is a poisonous tree with white flowers, and on that same tree a crow was sitting, right? And he just shook off the dust of snow, that is small particles of snow that remain on the surface after the snowfall on the poet. Now, whether it had fallen on his head or shoulders, we don't know, but definitely those flakes fell on the poet. And over here, these two agents of nature, crow and hemlock tree, they are actually signifiers of sadness and gloom, right? And they are depicting the setting of the scene in the beginning of the poem, that yes, poet was not happy. Now let's look at the second paragraph. "Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued." Rued means held in regret. So, as we all know that for unknown reasons, the author was having a terrible day. He wasn't happy how the day has unfolded for him, right? But the falling of the snow on his head lifted his mood instantly. He had already spent his day in a bad mood, But the rest of the day it was saved by the crow and the hemlock tree, because if he would not have gone there and sat underneath the tree, the crow would not have thrown that dust of snow, and if these all events didn't happen, he would have continued to be in his sad mood only, and he would have wasted his whole day. But just a little action, right, which happened in the first paragraph, the reaction was very positive, which brought a change in the poet's mind in the second paragraph. So your first paragraph, it's the action depicted, and second paragraph we can see the reaction of that action. And generally, hemlock tree and crow, they are actually used for negative references, right? But the poet has used them beautifully to portray that inauspicious things can bring joy and happiness too. One must not take things for granted and should be open and accept whichever way the nature chooses to bless us. So that change, was very positive in the poet. That simple action actually changed the poet's mood. He realized that he had wasted a part of his day repenting and being lost in sorrow, but the change in his mood made him realize that he should utilize the rest of the day in some useful activity. His sorrow was definitely washed away by the light shower of snow dust. His spirit was revived. He got ready to utilize the rest of the day. And in the end, we as audience, we understood one point, that satisfaction replaces regret. In the beginning of the poem, he was regretting of some event, right? But towards the end of the poem, he was satisfied. He was able to have those positive vibes in his heart, and he gets ready with zeal to live the rest of the day. Now let's have a quick look at the literary devices. We have the example of alliteration over here. You can see has given my heart. H sound is being repeated, and the second statement, and saved some part. S sound is being repeated in this statement. So these two are examples of alliteration over here. And then we have enjambment literary device. Now what is enjambment? Enjambment is when the same sentence continues to the next line without the use of any punctuation marks. It is called enjambment, and it has been used throughout the poem. So that's all, children, in this poem. I hope you might have liked my explanation. If you have liked, please like my video, leave a comment for my motivation, and do share my videos with your friends. And yes, subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.